Hey guys, welcome to Serious Laughs. This is episode 23. Want to be financially wealthy? Healing limited money beliefs and make money now.
How our mindset has the power to make or break our wallets.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm Molly and I love chewing gum. Sheri.
Hi guys, I'm Sheri. I have TMJ, so I cannot chew gum, but I'm the author of Dream Right. Empower the child within at any age.
I love it. And we have Carol registered to hear. Give us a fun fact about you, Carol.
Yeah.
What's something we wouldn't know?
Former high-level gymnastics judge for many years and clinician. Yeah.
I've never met one of you before.
Oh my God. I wouldn't have because I'm not doing gymnastics.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
That is beyond amazing. And what kind of clinician?
Well, clinician in terms of athletes getting ready for competition, walking them through like what the rules are in that season and what, they can focus on and to help them improve their performances.
Very neat.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so you already had that natural therapeutic aura about you. Carol Register is a certified neuro coach. She is the creator of the Neuro Wealth Method and a very well-known motivational speaker. You may have seen her on ABC. She's been on Fox, NBC, and CBS. Welcome, Carol Register. It is an honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
This is incredible. I'm so excited about this. Such a cool combination. I mean, when you talk about just like the two, like neuroscience and then wealth and how you manage to connect them both to help your clients and just help people. I think this is going to be a great conversation.
Yeah. Thank you. It's unique. That's what's special about it. I haven't found anybody else out there doing it in this way.
No, and I wish if you're listening to this on Spotify, Carol's eyes are lit up from within. And I pay attention to that, Molly. Now you can see like musicians always have the light on from within. They're the happiest people because they're living their bliss. And you are living your bliss, Carol. It shows. You've developed the Neuro Wealth Method using neuroscience, universal wealth laws, and deep identity work. What is it and how does it work?
I love this question so much. So with the neuroscience process, we often just think thoughts, brain, right? But neuroscience is the study of the whole nervous system, and we're integrated beings. And so even parts of our subconscious are housed in our bodies, not just in our brain. We produce neurochemicals, neurotransmitters, not just in our brains, but in our guts as well. And we have neurons throughout our spinal column. If you think about chakras, those are places where we often have neural networks. There's neurons in the heart, in the gut and heart brain communicate regularly with our heads. So from a neuroscience perspective, we have this beautiful gift called neuroplasticity where we can make changes, we can heal, we can transform, and literally create the reality that we desire to create. We don't even realize how much power we have. I still don't. It's just like a little taste of it. And it's like, wow, this is awesome,
Oh my gosh.
And so it's helping people to recognize the power within them, what's available, because I don't know about you. I didn't grow up with any idea that I could create my reality, but yet I was all the time. And when I look back and connect the dots, I'm like, that isn't the one I was wanting to create. I want to write a new story.
Molly, does this not seem right? Like the synergy. So
yeah.
Follow-up question. If if we can write our own story, and that's connected to the neuroplasticity and the neurons going through in our gut and our brain, does that also create a synergy externally in the real world?
Absolutely. And the beauty of the sciences is there's also the quantum science. We live in a quantum realm. We live in everything is energy, even this mass. It appears solid to us, but it's moving energy. And so, in terms of what is being studied, we can use the neuroscience tools we have to step into different realms in the quantum field that we live in. And then when you combine that with principles of wealth, well, what are principles of wealth, right? Those universal wealth laws are just like the laws of physics. And I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up learning how the wealthy think and operate. It was a closed club.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot of information. Information was passed between families and tight networks. And as we've exploded in the day of information, we now have access to these things. We can learn exactly how the wealthy think and operate, what principles and laws they're using to do the things that they're doing, combined with our ability to heal our limiting money stories and create the reality we want to create. This is where it gets exponential, putting these two together. And the transformations that I've been through in my own journey and that my clients go through are what light me on fire, because those breakthroughs, they spread to all of us. They're not just individual. They actually impact everybody around us because we are connected. So that's where, it's one of the reasons you see me get so excited about this.
Wow, dang. I'm trying to wrap my head around it because, like growing up, like you say, you never get those insights to the wealthy, but from the outside, you just think it's like hammer down, hit the road running, just go, 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 go. And it just seems like a mad machine, which doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't seem balanced to me. But what you're saying, it sounds more balanced. It sounds more organic. It sounds like everybody has the potential. We just have to figure out how to get in there with the way you teach.
Yes. There's two groups of people that I work with. One is people who are like me, who are wealthy and miserable. Who have you, if you can ask anybody, do you know anybody who's wealthy and yet miserable, or wealthy and lost it all? This is something where those limiting beliefs are still running in our subconscious. They happened in our childhood, and we don't even realize that they're driving over 90% of our daily decisions without our awareness. And, our beautiful system of the brain is to protect this incredible automated system at all costs. Very sophisticated, but we protect the faulty programming too. And this is where you'll get the neurotransmitters trying to keep you in old beliefs, to keep you stuck, because the brain recognizes what's ever patterned in as safety. And, if an example is, I'm not sitting here going, oh, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Or I can have a conversation while I'm tying my shoes and I'm not going cross this one over that one. It's all automated, and I'm doing it without a conscious awareness. And so we start to think we're making all these conscious decisions, but in reality, we're making subconscious decisions all the time. And this is where we're like hitting walls. We're in the spin cycle. We're like, what's going on? Why am I not breaking through? I thought it was about the hustle. It is so not about the hustle. And in fact, one of the principles of wealth that I teach is that you actually create more by doing less. It's very counterintuitive. And, a lot of our culture is is based on masculinity, and each sex has masculine and feminine energy, but masculine energy is on a 24/7 cycle. It's testosterone based. It's very driven, and thank goodness for those gifts. However, as a woman, we are on a 28-day cycle. We are in a receiving mode. And when we get caught in the hustle culture, we no longer receive, and it blocks our wealth, literally blocks our wealth.
And is that true even in menopause?
Yeah, it is. I'm postmenopause, and yes, it's still, my cycle is, one of a balance of those energies. So it's not about not taking action, but the action has to come from our identity. And this is why I do deep identity work. Because we get in this cycle of I have to have things in order to do things, in order to be somebody. But in reality, so much of what is truth is counterintuitive. You want to know your worth. You want to know who you are so that you can be. Then out of your being, the doing flows. It flows with alignment. That's where the action happens. And then the have comes, you receive the have.
So it's inspired action.
Right, exactly. It's in alignment, and it's with the flow. When you're out of flow, you can start to go, hey, what's going on here? Why am I feeling burned out? Why am I feeling demotivated? And you'll often find blocks. Yeah.
That's where I am right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found I found a quote you had. You said, when you learn who you are internally, things will flow externally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the examples I often use when I'm speaking is, we don't look at a baby in a crib or even a puppy or a kitten and go, sorry, kid, you don't have any value. You're not doing anything yet. We know inherently that that baby arrived with value without doing a thing. But we lose that along the way. We get all these messages that we're not valuable unless we're doing, and doing more, right? But it's not the truth. The truth is we inherently are valuable. And when we come from that place of worthiness and from knowing who we are and our value, knowing our internal approval, again, this is where we really break open and begin to receive and build wealth, where we begin to receive and build health, great relationships, because we're not seeking that constant external validation that we learn along the way.
How did you come to this place of great knowing and insight?
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Well, I was married for many years to somebody who suffered from narcissism and was, using unfortunate methods to cope and, taking things out on me. And I was very much in a victim mode. I was very much in this is just the way life is, and I have to receive it. I have to take it as it comes, and it's making me stronger. And I've believed a long time that the challenges could be good for us. However, I wasn't setting boundaries. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know I was actually standing in the way of both of our healing by that. Both.
Timestamp that, please.
Yeah. And getting out of the way, he passed away. And I had agreed to move to Chile because he wanted to retire there. We had sold our business, and he had met a consultant. We found a place that a North American couple were selling, little boutique hotel that we have. They had had it for 25 years, had a great reputation, were ready to retire. So we purchased it, or we're in the process of that. when he really was in the last stages of his life. It was a slow suicide. And so I had gone over there and started to learn this hospitality business because I'd never been in that realm, didn't know what that was. Like I said, I had been a gymnastics judge. So I've kind of been a cat. I've had 9 lives. I've had a lot of really cool experiences. But I found myself alone in a foreign country, not speaking the language, not knowing the industry that I was in. We were sold out. We had an amazing reputation, traveler's choice on TripAdvisor, yada, yada. A staff that only spoke Spanish. I didn't know the culture. Chile's very much more aligned with European culture than ours. They're not as direct. And it's Spanish and German down there because the Germans have been there since the 1860s, building the infrastructure. And there's a lot of Dutch, French, Italians as well. And so, yeah, that's where I found myself grieving a 30-year marriage in menopause and just like having to put my head down. And some days I couldn't even breathe. My breath would just get sucked out of my body. And thankfully, I had people come alongside me and say, hey, that's grief. It'll be okay. Don't panic. It'll pass. You'll get your breath back. But I remember laying in the bed and just soaked with tears and sweat, and my girls coming up and having packed my bags and saying, you've got to get out of here. I had been in that bed for 5 days. I could not get up or get out. So it was a lot to deal with. My learning curve was sharp. And then in addition, we were in 6 countries. I became the one and only estate manager working with our trust and so on. And I didn't know what I didn't know. And so what I found on my journey was I was living everybody else's plans for my life. I was in victim mode. My vision was getting clouded constantly. I had one, but it was getting clouded by the trauma, by being in survival brain. And I heard my mentor, who I'm certified through, say, you can remove your limiting beliefs. I went, wait, what? You can do what? Okay, count me in. I'm in. And hence my journey began.
Wow. It makes me think of the 4 questions. I can't remember who says it. You probably know. Is it true? Are you sure it's true?
Yeah.
The work. I forgot her name.
Yeah. I know. I'm not recalling it right at this moment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
To answer that call. Where so many of us want to stay in our comfort zones because it's familiar, even though it's killing us slowly.
Yeah.
Yep. That's huge. So, okay. So that's that's when you kind of began your journey. Is this, and from that point, how did the Neuro Wealth method arrive or come together for you?
Yeah. So I, one of the things that I had found, my husband had done quite well, so we would be considered wealthy for a while, not just when he died. And the interesting thing was what I recognize and help people with in having fulfillment, having your cake and eating it too, having satisfaction, and alignment in your wealth is that I was over here operating in scarcity. I didn't see myself as wealthy. So I was making decisions from that place. I was avoiding. I was thinking that I didn't really deserve it. I was living in fear of losing it and, feeling like I wasn't enough. It wasn't really meant for me. And so again, going back to the subconscious, this is the place that I was making decisions from. And the results I was getting were results of those decisions, right? And they weren't pretty. so in learning about how our neuroplasticity works, our brains and our bodies, and that we can actually heal, we can actually write new stories, we can transform, started that journey. And then about halfway through my certification process, I was experiencing amazing transformations. My colleagues were, and my mentors' clients were. And that's when I was really bit by the bug. I was like, oh, I have to share this with people. This is amazing. We have so much possibility. We have so much limitlessness, and we can heal, and we can create better lives and better communities, better families. We can break generational patterns. We can create better cities and better world, right? It is something that energetically very much spreads, and there's all kinds of amazing science about this, mirror cells and the way things work. And so as I got bitten by this bug again, I was like, okay, I absolutely have to share that. And so I'm still using what I teach every day. And I do want to say, I'm going to give you some quick wins today with your wealth. You can change your wealth story in 15 minutes a day. So I mentioned that I work with people who are wealthy and miserable. The other group of people that I work with are female leaders at 6 figures who want to be at 7 figures and beyond. And I do guarantee it because it is science-based. The science works whether I'm, the best or not. I am the best, but
of course.
But this is one of the reasons I can guarantee results, because it's the way we're wired and we're actually designed to create. And one of the principles I teach is a really easy starting point that you can change your wealth in 15 minutes a day. And I'll give you an example. Huge company called Cardone Ventures with Natalie Dawson and her husband. His brain just hit my brain just skipped his name, but the Dawsons, they started their company with 6 employees, and they use this 15-minute a day method. And I think they were at 4 million the first year they grew, they set a goal of, I want to say 35. They surpassed it and went to 39 million the second year. And then 75 million, and now they're 100 million and beyond. They have like 185 employees last I looked, and they use this method, this principle of wealth. It absolutely works. And so, yeah.
So, okay, Molly and I were picking our jaws up off the floor. So if someone's listening to this and they say, okay, well, this is great. However, you're guaranteeing it for these female empowered executives making 6 figures, wanting to make 7.
Yeah.
What do you say to the woman listening to this who's in her kitchen having, focused on just trying to pay her mortgage or pay her bills and might be at a 6, let me think about 5 figure, 5 figures, not 6, right? 5 figures.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
I was like, she's at or maybe she has nothing, right? Financially. I don't mean emotionally. I don't mean, I'm saying pure finance, pure wallet.
Yeah.
What do you say to that woman?
I say that it is entirely possible for you as well. And, one of the things that I offer is a very low cost $297 self-study program to introduce you to, it's just an introduction to the principles of wealth I teach. There's 40 in that. It's done as a private podcast, 10 minutes a day. So that is something where if you take that money and you invest it in something like that and you multiply it times 10, to 3,000, how valuable would that be to you? So this is what we're looking at. One of the things that I'm doing in my 12-month program now is also developing a certification for this method so that there will be other coaches out there who can help spread the impact of it, and can serve different, diverse, unique communities, right? So I know my zone of genius. I know where I land. And then also I do very much certain aspects of scholarship pro bono work, depending, and generosity to the causes that I absolutely believe in, including stopping human trafficking. So this is something where wherever you are at, please listen to our show, our podcast. Please, take advantage of the tools that are available to you. Start to glean this information and know that it applies universally. So,
that's fantastic. You mentioned you said a phrase, zone of genius. Is for somebody who might, like you kind of mentioned, like a path that wasn't super, or a vision that wasn't super clear. Is this kind of what you would help someone do, is to hone in on their zone of genius, and then that's kind of the road they take off on? Okay.
Yeah, very much, because I know that, there's so much information, but what we focus on grows. And I think a little bit of entrepreneurship includes ADHD. I'm pretty sure, like, squirrel. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I could be like that with my kids. They're like, Mom, over here, I was talking to you. Oh yeah. Did you see that flower? Come back.
Come back.
So, being able to be more focused, not in distraction, shiny object syndrome, the things that take us away from that, something that can help us to have a clear path and accelerate and elevate faster. So that's a big part of what I do as well in working with female leaders and high achievers. And not all of them are executives. We're all leaders. We lead our lives every day. I didn't think of myself as a leader for a long time. Now I do, because I'm leading my life, right?
So, and you're paying it forward, no pun intended.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, to end human trafficking alone. And it goes back to the start of our talk today, which is that we're all connected.
Yeah.
And if you're following your bliss, you will end up helping someone in ways you can't even imagine. And this idea of you're helping people heal financially, but you also say in all areas.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're integrated, when we begin to do the work in any one area, other areas automatically tag along with that. JFK had a quote. He said, "A rising tide raises all boats." That's very true.
Beautiful. Oh
Very
my goodness.
Okay.
Well, so can we share the testimonials? I want us to close out with just a big shout out to you. And you have your website, your Neuro Coach Carol on IG, your successuniquelyyours.com. And we want to give a shout out that you're offering an upcoming Heal Your Limiting Money Stories masterclass, where people will have the opportunity to discover 3 key ways to start growing wealth right now. And if you're looking at this, you can see these testimonials speak for themselves. Molly, you want to read a couple of them?
Yes, I do.
All right, and ma'am. She go read it for us. Go read it. Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
And you have some of these. I was watching some of them on Instagram today too. I believe you have some of them on Instagram or Facebook or both. This one is from Savina. Pairing compassion, curiosity, insightful questions, and neuroscience principles. Carol is a powerful coach dedicated to her students' success. Understanding how my brain is wired for safety rather than success is helping me reframe limiting beliefs and access greater self-love and success.
Yeah.
Yeah. The safety brain, you mentioned that. Yeah, everybody freaking has safety brain until we realize we don't need it, or we can, find other ways.
Mm-hmm. We're not in danger. We're not hunters and gatherers anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Danger is our, social media. You could put it down.
I will say there's a lot of misinformation out there. I hear it all the times. Even listening to affirmations that you think are very empowering. I was listening to one from a guru that I love that's a little bit older the other day, and it was wiring in directly cognitive dissonance. What's cognitive dissonance? It's where our brain is getting two different messages and is in confusion and chaos. So it is really important that you, with these tools that you have somebody who can help you to understand. It's a really simple, clear process, but it is a process that you follow. And when you have a framework and a process to follow, you're going to have long-term and ongoing results rather than short-term, temporary-based results.
Mm. Do you want to read the other one, Sheri, from Barbara?
Sure. Through her firm yet gentle questions, Carol really helped me discover what was holding me back so that I could move forward. That's Barbara Harrington.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I love that, because you really, I was just brought up to it to just be grit and grind and just go. Never would I have questioned, oh, why don't you look inside and figure out who you are, how you're operating. It's just at 45, it's a completely new concept to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can so relate.
I love it.
And I can see why we would need you, because the world is filled with people that we have grown up with who have that dogmatic fear that we suck up in youth, and then it becomes a habit that we need to extricate. But you need someone to guide you through that, or else you're going to fall back to your old patterns.
I was doing the instant reframe. Okay, I'll just shift my beliefs. But when you push past something and you don't address it directly, it's just going right back into the subconscious, operating unaware, driving over 90% of your decisions. And you not even know about it. You're like, wait, why do I keep running into this problem? Why is this pattern showing up again? Why can't I break through and really get to that vision that I have? And it's because it's this process of not being able to work with the way our brains and bodies work, right? And so, yeah.
So your degree is in neuroscience.
I actually am not degreed in neuroscience, but I am certified in neuroscience.
Okay.
And it's not one of these in-name certifications. It was actually similar process, less so than a master's degree, where we had peer review, practicums, exams, professor review. It was a really solid, good program.
It's impressive. Yeah.
So impressive. I love this. So, okay, the Heal Your Limiting Money Stories Masterclass. And I love that it's a guaranteed program. All of your programs are guaranteed because it is science-based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's huge.
Huge.
That's what
you
makes
never
you
hear
stand
that.
out.
You never hear that.
No, it's science-based. Like your actual things are connecting and reconnecting and reforming it. Yep. It's just so cool, because you just think I don't know. I love that.
I want to take that clip of that. Yep.
You can have it, Carol.
That was
good. Okay, we have one more here. It says, this is from Stephanie. Carol is teaching me how to easily access the power of my mind by releasing limiting beliefs to consciously replace them with thoughts and values aligned with my true self. So you're helping people find their true self, which is going to open up endless possibilities.
Yeah.
You're a gift.
Oh,
Carol, this is great.
Thank you.
And people can find you. I want people to find you. We do. Carol Register 9 on Twitter. or X, I guess they say.
Yeah, X.
And again, Success Uniquely Yours, and IG Neuro Coach Carol. She has a successful podcast.
Yeah. What's your
10%.
podcast, Carol? Say that. Say your podcast, please.
It's Unleashed and Unstoppable. The Unleashed and Unstoppable. And we're on all the platforms. We're on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, on and on. Yeah. Yeah. And we really talk about, specifically there, we talk about the neuroscience of leadership, health, and wealth. So we have guest experts also, just like you guys do, but it's a way you can jump in. Like usually our episodes are around 20 minutes between Alex Leanne, my co-host, and I, where we give you actionable tips on using the neuroscience to be unleashed and unstoppable.
That's a wrap. Remember, when everything's going wrong, it just means you're crafting a great story. Stay tuned for more episodes where we turn life's lemons into laughable tales. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep finding the best and the worst, because life's too ridiculous not to laugh at it.